Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, welcome back to Baseball Head 2. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So, I've been talking about Pete Alonso, and I think Pete Alonso's going down the road of Michael Conforto. And now I'm starting to see some things. Don't be like Michael Conforto. He made a mistake last year. Now we might be seeing this problem going down a dark road for Pete, for the polar bear. This is from MLBTradeRumors.com. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Mike Conforto. In 2021, before the season started, the Mets offered Michael Conforto a 5-year, $100 million contract. He and his agent, Scott Boras, turned it down. At that point, Michael had a terrible season in 21. Hit terribly, was not very good. That offseason, we had lockout. Then Michael, during the lockout, got hurt. Working out, hurt his shoulder really bad. Missed the entire 2022 season. Then he had to come back, and he signed a relatively cheap contract from what he was offered with the Giants instead of with the New York Mets. Now, I would mention, if he were with the Mets in 2022, the Mets signed him to a contract, we wouldn't have stolen Marte because he would have been still the right fielder. Or Marcano wouldn't have been here. But now Pete Alonso looks like he's going down this same stupid road with Scott Boras. This is from MLB Trade Rumors. Mets offered Pete Alonso 7-year, $158 million contract extension last summer. After the Mets' record-setting spendings failed to bring them even a winning record heading into late July of last season. The team instead generated headlines by selling instead of buying. Moving Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and several others on a variety of deals prior to the trade deadline. Since the Mets were reportedly open to consider all options on shorter-term talent, the club even had discussion about moving Pete Alonso, which we know about, who was a free agent this coming offseason. The Brewers and Cubs were among the teams that at least checked in on Alonso's status, but obviously no deal was struck, and the polar bear remains in a Mets uniform to this very day. Trade explorations came after, however, the Mets made an attempt to lock Alonso up for the remainder of the decade. Joel Sherman of the New York Post reports that the Mets offered him a 7-year, $158 million contract extension last June, which would have kept him in Queens through his age 29 to 35 seasons. According to Sherman, the sides never got close to a deal, which is why the Mets then shifted to at least testing the waters to see what Alonso might net on the trade market. The length and the amount of the Mets offer exactly matched the final 7 years of Matt Olson's extension with the Braves, signed back in March of 22. Olson was 2 years away from free agency at the time of that long-term deal, and the final $5 figure was the 8-year pack worth $168 million. Plus, the Braves hold a $20 million club option for the 2030 season. New York's offer to Alonso apparently didn't involve a club option, but otherwise mirrored Olson's deal minus the $15 million Olson earned in 2022. Freddie Freeman's 6-year, $162 million contract with the Dodgers was another comp, as the Mets' offer gave Alonso more actual money than Freeman due to the deferrals involved in the LA first baseman's contract. Olson and Freeman were obvious benchmarks for Alonso as fellow star first baseman, and reports from last November suggest that Alonso wants a much bigger contract than either of those two deals. And the last surprising news possible, Alonso's agent Scott Boras feels the same way, as Boras told Sherman that Alonso's market stands apart from other recent major first baseman contracts due to Alonso's age. He'll be 30 on opening day 25, and because of dynamics of extension, he'll be 30 at the end of this year, in December. It's from Boras. The market for consistent 40-homer, durable infield capable, true middle-of-the-order sluggers is the question, Boras said. Note there are more available free agency and none coming in the next few years. Plus, he's New York proven, which is an unanswered question for many others, not Pete. He's elite level durability and production at a prime age, which is simply something most MLB teams do not process. They will cover the opportunity to have free agent access to such talent. It is worth noting that Alonso was a client of Apex Sports when he and the Mets were negotiating an extension, and Alonso then changed representation to the Boras Corporation after the season. A few notable exceptions over the years, Boras clients generally end up heading to the open market rather than signing a contract extension. So it would count as a big surprise if Alonso and the Mets agreed to a new deal this close to his arrival in the open market. Now, this is a big problem because now Pete has not played well in the last year and a half. According to what I've been reading here, his hard hit rate is still good, but his barrel rate, hard hit rate, is not very good. It has declined. The first 4 seasons of his career, he hit .261, and he's hit .219 over the last 2 years. So his batting average has declined. In a recent live stream, I mentioned how past power hitters that have been here with the New York Mets, the first thing that goes when a player starts to lose bat speed is the batting average. In 1985, the Mets brought in Gary Carter, who the year prior to that had hit .294. The year before that, he had .293. When he got to the Mets in 85, he had .281, went down to .255, and then was down to .235. And then .242 in his last full season with the Mets as the regular catcher. The same thing happened with Mike Piazza. He got to the Mets to .340 hitter, and then that decline in the batting average preset, and was the preamble to the lack of power that eventually came. Same thing happened with Gary Carter. So Pete's batting average is starting to decline, which is a concern. He must get that batting average at his average rate to finish the season, or people are going to start getting concerned. I'm getting concerned because of his age. He's 30 years old. Now, he has been durable. He has been able to stay on the field. But even playing every day can wear on you. And that batting average is an indication of a slowing bat. So that is something that he's got to keep an eye on in his career. And I've seen this, like I said, with Gary Carter and Mike Piazza, that their batting averages declined. Once that decline begins, then that means the bat's getting slower, and eventually they're going to lose that. He's going to lose that power like they did. We've seen this with other players too with the Mets in the past, but I don't want to think about them right now. But those were the two obvious comps I can give you in terms of power hitters that were also high average hitters, and then they had a decline. And that average is basically an indicator of that the power is going to decline too very quickly over the next few years. So this has got to be an issue that he has to keep in mind. This isn't something, if he hit .2-something last year, but was fine this year with the batting average, I wouldn't be concerned. But now I'm getting a little concerned, and I think everybody should be. But he probably screwed up his free agency because he should have just signed last year with the Mets. That's good money that they were offering him. They were giving him. He's not better than Freddie Freeman. That's for damn sure. He's better than Matt Olson, I think, but he's not as good as Freddie. Freddie's won batting titles. He's been a good player. I mean, really, he's a Hall of Famer if he stays healthy. And he's probably going to get over 2,000. He's going to get awfully close to 3,000 in his career. Pete's not that. Pete's never going to have 3,000 hits. Not even come close. So this batting average is a concern to me, because then, of course, this is going to cost him. The way he has played over the last 2 years, the result, it's cost him a lot of money. And it was a dumb decision on his part not to take the money when the Mets offered it to him. So let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please hit the subscribe button to the Baseball Hit 2. And I'll see you later.